Hello everyone, my name is Iman Kamyabi and today we are going to learn about Conda. If you are working on a Python project, there's a good chance that your project is relying on some external packages. For example, you may be working on a data science project and you're using libraries like NumPy or scikit-learn or pandas for your project. And one of the features of Conda is that it's a dependency manager, or it's a package manager, meaning that it can resolve all of your dependencies for your project for you. In addition to that, Conda is also an environment manager, meaning that let's say if you are working on a project and then you are using a set of dependencies for that project, then you're switching to a different project that is maybe using a different version of Python or different set of dependencies, or even the same dependency but a different version of those dependencies. Conda allows you to have multiple environments running and allows you to switch from one environment to another environment that has a different version of Python and a different set of dependencies, which is really nice if you're collaborating on a team and you need to switch from one project to another one, or if you want to export list of your dependencies for that project and allow your coworker to just replicate that environment within an environment in their own dev environment, then you can use Conda for that. And that's what we're going to learn today. We are going to use Conda to manage our dependencies, to resolve our dependencies, and also to be able to use Conda to, manage our environments and can have separate set of dependencies for each environment. With that, let's get started. All right, there are two ways to install Conda. One is Miniconda and the other way is Anaconda. Miniconda is a smaller package and it only includes some of the core libraries for Conda to work. And Anaconda includes whatever is in Miniconda, but also in addition to that, it includes some of the common libraries for data science work, things like pandas and NumPy or Jupyter notebooks. And you have these two options for installing Conda. To install Miniconda, you can go to the conda.io website. And then here you can find Miniconda and then find your operating system. For example, for me, it's a Mac OS, and then download the binary artifact depending on the Python version that you want to use. And to download the Anaconda, to install Anaconda, you can go to anaconda.com and then products, individual edition, and download the artifact. And after you download the artifact, just run it, and the installation process is pretty straightforward. Just follow the steps, and that should get Conda installed for you. All right, let's verify Conda is installed. Just open your terminal and run conda --version. Then it should print out the Conda version, which is 4.10.3 for me. And the fact that I can run this command means Conda is already added to my path environment variable. Next command I'm going to run is for updating Conda. And to do that, I run conda update conda. And this should update my Conda installation to the latest version, which for me, as you can see, it's already using the latest version, so nothing is being installed here. To get some information about Conda, you can run conda info. And then it's going to print out some info and some details about your Conda installation. For example, the name of the active environment. So that's the environment that is already active. And something interesting, you can see the name is base here, which is the default name. And this name is also appearing in your prompt here in parentheses. You see base. And then this is how you can know what's the name of environment that your Conda is already using. In addition to that, you can see some other information. For example, there's Python version, which is the version of the Python that it's using. And then there are channels. And channels are basically just URLs that Conda uses to resolve your dependencies. And here's my platform, OS x64, and some other additional information about your Conda. Next, we are going to see how we can get some help about these commands. If you run conda with whatever subcommand that you want. For example, we learned about info, and then add --help to that subcommand. It's gonna print some information about how to use that command or subcommand. For example, here for the Conda info, you can see these are all the options, all the optional arguments we can pass to the command and the description of each option. And this is how you can get help in case you forget about the exact options or commands or subcommands when using Conda. Next, let's see how we can list all of our environments in Conda. For that, I run Conda env list, and it's gonna print out name of all of my environments. As you can see, I have 4 environments right now, and one of them is indicated with a star. So a star means this is the environment that is already active in my Conda installation. And as I mentioned before, right now the active one is base, and this base is also shown here in my prompt in the parentheses that this is the name of the environment that I'm using right now. Next, let's see how we can create a new environment. Let's clean it up here, and then for that I run Conda create --name, and then the name of that environment. Let's say hi Conda, because I already have hello Conda, so I'm going to use hi Conda. And then you can also provide the Python version that you want to use for that environment. Let's say here I'm going to use Python version 3.6. And that's it. Then it's telling me that it's going to install all these dependencies for me in that environment. And I say yes. Perfect. Now my environment is created, and if I clean up, and then if I run Conda env list again, I should be able to see my new environment. And there we go. You can see we have hi Conda now, and my active environment is still base, as you can see indicated with a star. And to switch to the environment that I just created, we run this command Conda activate, and then the name of the environment we want to activate, which is hi Conda. That's the environment that I just created. Conda, oh, okay, I have a typo here. There we go. And now if I run the list command again, then hi Conda is my active environment right now, because you can see the star here. And that's it. That's how you can create a new environment, and that's how you can switch to that environment. Now that we know how to create a new environment and switch to that environment, let's see how we can manage dependencies for that environment. And the first command we're going to look at for that is Conda list. If I run Conda list, it will print all the dependencies I have for my environment. So right now I am in environment called hi Conda, and these are all the dependencies for my environment. Next, let's see how to create a new package, how to install a new package for our environment. Let's clean here. For that, I run Conda install and the name of the package. For example, let's say NumPy. And yes, there we go. And now NumPy is installed. And just to verify that, I can run Conda list again to list my packages for this environment. And here it is. NumPy version 1.17.0 is installed in my Conda environment named hi Conda. In addition to using Conda for installing packages, you can also use pip for installing packages. For example, if you want to install NumPy using pip, we will run pip install numpy. And that should work too. And as you can see, requirement already satisfied because I already have it installed, version 1.17.0, which is also indicated here. Next, let's see how to search for a package. For that, we run conda search, for example, numpy. Then it's gonna list all the information about the package called numpy, and with the version number and all the other information. And this is how you can search for a package. And if you run this command with info, for example, conda search numpy --info, then there's going to be a more detailed printout of that package name with the file name, with the size, with the license, and all the other extra information like timestamp, that version was created, and all that. In case you want to install multiple packages in one command, you can just chain them. For example, I can run conda install. And by the way, if you don't want to be prompted for yes, you can just add -yes. And then you can chain, all the packages that you want to install. Let's say I want to install numpy, and also I want to install pandas here. And that's it. If I run this, I shouldn't be prompted for yes or no because I already passed this yes. And it should install all the packages that I specified here. And that's it. And if I run conda list again, numpy is there and pandas is already added here. For updating a package, we run conda update command. For example, conda update, let's say if I want to update numpy package. Conda update numpy. There we go. And because I'm already using the latest version of numpy, it's just saying all requested packages already installed. To remove a package, you can use remove command. For example, conda remove numpy. And I say yes. And this is how you can remove a package. And by the way, if you want to remove multiple packages, you can run conda remove and then chain name of all the packages that you want to remove. For example, numpy, pandas, and whatever other package you want to remove. And there we go. It seems the following packages are missing from the target environment. It seems I'm trying to remove a package that is not in my environment, which makes sense because I already removed numpy. But in general, this is how you can remove multiple packages from your environment. Next, let's say you want to update all the packages in your environment. We already mentioned how to update a particular package for environment, but now we are going to see how to update every single package in my environment. For that, we run conda update, same command, except now we run it with --all, and then name of that environment, which for me was hi conda. And that's it. Let's see. Perfect. It says all the requested packages are already installed, meaning that my environment is already using the latest version of all the packages. Next, we are going to talk about revisions. Revisions are like time machine for your environment. To make it more clear, let's run this command, conda list revisions, and just pay attention, there's hyphen revisions. And then it's gonna list out a history log, right? With different revision numbers, revision 0, revision 1, revision 2, 3, and with a date for each revision. So basically, whenever you install a new set of dependencies on your environment, it's creating a new revision. And the nice thing with revisions is you can revert back to a point in time for your revision. Let's say, so this is my latest revision, right? Revision number 3. And I installed all of these libraries in my revision number 3. Let's say if I don't need those libraries, if I install them by accident, then I can revert back to revision 2 of my environment. And to do that, I can run this command, conda install hyphen revision and the number for that revision. Let's say we want to go back to revision number 2, then I put 2 here. All right, so it's telling me that because in my revision number 3, you see all these minus signs. Because in my revision number 3, I removed all these different packages. Now that I want to go back to revision number 2, it's gonna install all those packages again. And this is basically what it's telling here. It's saying that the following new packages will be installed. I'm gonna say yes. And now it's gonna install all those packages. And if I run my revision list again, now you can see I have a new revision that I installed all the libraries that they were removed in revision number 3. And now let's say if I want to go back to revision number 3 again, right? Right now I'm in revision number 4 and I want to go back to revision number 3. And if I run the same command, except now I'm going to pass revision number 3. You can see now, because in revision number 4, I installed all these different new libraries and all these new packages. Now that I want to go back to revision number 3, it's going to remove all those libraries. And this is what this message is saying. It's saying the following packages will be removed. And then I can say yes again. And this will remove all those packages and goes back to a previous version, to a previous revision. And this is basically how you can navigate, in your history of your environment and go back to a previous version. Not something that you may use like on a day-to-day basis, but it can be very useful in case you want to go back to a previous version of your environment. All right, next we're going to see how to export list of dependencies for your environment and how to import them for a new environment. To export your dependencies in your environment, you can run this command conda list hyphen explicit. Then you can pipe it to a file name, let's say myenv.txt, for example. And then if I run this command, okay, I had one extra hyphen here. All right, and that's it. Now, if I check, I should have a new file called myenv. And let's see. There we go. So there's a new file added, myenv.txt. And this file has list of all the dependencies for my environment. And you can see it's explicit, meaning that it has the full URL, including the repository or the channel that that dependency can be retrieved. And it also has like the version number and all that. And this is how you can export the dependencies for your environment. Now that we know how to export it, let's see how we can import it to a new environment. For that, and you can see like already Conda provided me some guidance on how to do that. I can run conda create --name env, which is something we have seen before, right? This is how you can create a new environment. And in addition, it's also passing this new argument with the file name. So basically, it's not only gonna like create a new environment for me. It's gonna also look at that file that I just created and install all those dependencies in my environment. All right, let's try it. Conda create name, let's say my new environment, and then for the file I'm gonna say my_env.txt, which is the file that I just exported. And if I run this command, perfect. So it created a new environment and it installed all those dependencies for my environment. Now if I run conda env list, there's a new environment added, my new env, and let's switch to that environment, conda activate my new env. All right, I'm switched to the new environment. You can see here my new env. And then if I run conda list, I should see all the dependencies that I had in my previous environment. And there we go. These are a list of all the dependencies. And you can see it's kind of matching all these dependencies that I exported from my previous environment in here. Next, let's see how we can remove an environment. Let's go in here. First, I'm going to list my environments, conda env list. And let's say I want to remove that high conda environment that I had before. For that, we can run conda env remove. And remember, we also had conda remove command that was for removing dependencies. If you want to remove an environment, you need to run conda env remove. So conda env remove, and then --name, and then the name of the environment that I want to remove. Here I'm going to remove high conda. And that's it. Let's see. There we go. Remove all packages in that environment. And it seems it's also removed that environment. Let's list it again. Yeah, as you can see, we don't see the high conda environment anymore. And this is how you can remove an environment. All right. Next, let's see how we can clone an environment. Cloning meaning that, let's say you have an environment with a set of dependencies and you want to create an exact replica of that environment. So it's kind of like, like if you have worked with Git version control system, it's kind of like creating a new branch. So you can install some new dependencies on that new environment without impacting that old environment. And this is why we use clone command. And to do that, we run conda create and actually let's get help just so you see how we can use help, because I don't remember the exact parameters for this command. Conda create help. Okay, so here you can see we have an optional argument called clone. That means that you can provide an environment's name to clone from in your new environment. So now that we know that, let's run our command again. Conda create clone. That's going to be the name of environment that I want to clone from. And for that, let's first list all of our environments so we see what environments we have. And then Conda create clone. All right, let's say I want to clone from my environment called Hello Conda to a new environment that I'm gonna name it my clone environment. Okay, and if I run this, all right, it's done. So it basically created a new environment for me named my clone env, and it added all the dependencies from my original environment called Hello Conda to this environment. To verify that, let's list our environments. Conda env list. This is my new environment. My clone env is the one that I just created. And if I switch to that environment, Conda activate my clone env, and then if I list all the dependencies, Conda list, they should match to whatever dependencies I had in my original environment, which was Hello Conda. Let's verify that. So I'm going to switch to the old environment, Conda activate Hello Conda, and then Conda list. There we go. So you can see the list of dependencies in my new environment is exactly matching the dependencies in my original environment. And this is how you can basically clone an existing environment using the same command that you used for creating an environment, except you're just passing some additional argument, which is clone, that has the name of the environment that you want to clone from. All right, that's the end of this training video. And hopefully now you know how to manage your environments, how to manage your dependencies using Conda. And I will also provide a link to a Conda cheat sheet because it may be hard to remember all these commands, especially at the beginning. So that cheat sheet, which is provided by conda.io, provides a list of the most common commands that we already covered in this video that you can refer to in future when you want to use it. With that, if you like the video, if it was useful, just feel free to like it. And if you want to get notified about the future videos that I will produce, feel free to subscribe. And thank you.